Hey everybody, this is Brian Trout, and I'm coming to you with the Mossy Creek fly fishing forecast. The date today is Monday, November 16th. So here's what's happened since I spoke with everybody last. We had some absolutely massive rains across the Commonwealth. Here in the valley, anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches. And east of here, parts of the Piedmont were severely flooded, reports over 4 inches of rain. So obviously our larger river systems, the James River was absolutely massive. The Shenandoah is through the roof. We had to cancel our muskie trips this past week. That's gonna last for quite some time. So stay tuned or check in with us or go to the U.S. Geological Survey's water gauge, stream gauge maps to see how those rivers are falling, and it's gonna be a while. So that pretty much scraps smallmouth fishing and muskie fishing for the next several days anyway. Like we've been talking about the last few weeks, we've been kind of leaving the brook trout alone, let them do their thing, and that's going to be the case for quite some time. So let's focus on what we've got to fish for and what's fishing well. Obviously, whenever you have high water and floods, if you want to fish for warm water species, you can always go to an impoundment or a lake. So there's lots of lakes to the west of us here in the National Forest that have largemouth bass and sunfish. I have a small pond on my property and have still been able to catch quite a few of those guys as it's been pretty mild recently. So some of the largemouth bass and sunfish are still out and about and can definitely be caught relatively close to the surface. Once it gets really cold, those guys are going to go deep and it's going to just be a lot harder to catch them. So if you want to fish for warm water species, head up to some of the lakes, or to Lake Shenandoah, Elkhorn Lake, Todd Lake, Switzer. These are places to our west that are beautiful and are largely unaffected by floods. Maybe the first day or two they get a little high or dirty, but they should be fine by now. As far as the trout fishing goes, we've had some pretty good reports coming off the spring creeks. So a couple of big browns were caught this past week on Mossy. So as I've been talking, the spawn there happens usually the last couple weeks in October, first couple weeks in November. It's hard to get a fix on exactly what timetable they're on. Typically the hens will come off first, and when they come off their nests, they're really, really hungry. So had an 18-inch fish or two last week, had some fish chasing. So people are starting to show, are coming in with reports of a few more of those larger mature browns showing up. So that's good. As they come off those nests, they're gonna come off really hungry and they're gonna eat like crazy. And with the higher dirty water, streamer fishing would definitely be the way to go. We've got some great new streamers here in stock. They're awesome. So, good time to stock up on some streamers for fishing Mossy Creek. Some of the other spring creeks that have more rainbow trout in them, like Buffalo Creek and Beaver Creek, have been fishing really, really, really well. So those streams get beat up for about 2 days after those rains, and then they become fishable right after that. So all those streams should be fine. The weather forecast for this week is really nice. It's going to get cooler. We're going to get way down in the 20s the next couple of nights. So your morning fishing might take a little hit because of that, but things will warm back up, and it's going to be dry. So I think the forecast here in the valley for the next 5 days is dry. So water levels should just be balancing out and kind of calming down. The state has not stocked a lot of trout streams in our area since our last update. So kind of keep watching. I would expect probably next week for some more of these streams to come on right before the holidays. As always, we'll let you know as soon as some of these delayed harvest streams and catch and release only streams that we love to fish so much come online. So anyway, until then, focus on some of your spring creeks, focus on heavy jig nymphs fishing down the bottom, focus your hours during the more productive hours of the day. The warmer hours are typically better. Not that you can't catch fish when it's freezing cold in the morning, but you are probably going to do better at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock when things are warmer and some of the nymphs and bugs are kind of moving and coming to life. And be on the lookout for some small caddis hatches, some small blue-winged olive hatches. That's about all you're going to see on the surface if you see anything at all. Subsurface, a lot of stuff's in play. Your stonefly nymphs work really well this time of year. And then, like I said, any heavy jig nymph, fish along the bottom, jigged Frenchies. These are great flies to fish going through the winter months. So if you have questions about bugs, if you have questions about weather or stream flow, give us a call. There's a lot of exciting things happening here at the shop. We're gearing up for the holiday season. So tons and tons of stuff is coming in every day. We'll be very happy to take a break from putting away thousands of items to answer your fishing questions. So don't hesitate to call us, especially if it's a long trip and you're kind of concerned about what you might run into when you're up here. So anyway, thanks everybody, and I'll see you next Monday.